for 3 hours behind closed doors after a photo op to plan the Summer of Rage. And speaking of that, be aware but not there. We'll have our crew there tomorrow. Day of Rage scheduled for July 15th. That's tomorrow. 2016, we'll tell you about that. And now there's the new talking point. And when I say this, I want you to understand, I don't say this to be shocking or for rhetoric or because there's a small connection. What is now being announced by Obama through Black Lives Matter and the UN is State Department Memorandum 7277 and public law. We're printing all that off right now. I want to show that to you when we come back. This is actually a U.S. government plan for world government through the UN from 1962. Freedom from War is the name of it. Alex Jones here, back live. We have breaking campaign 2016 news. We're going to have Roger Stone on tomorrow, hopefully 20 or 30 minutes before the actual announcement of who it really is. And I'm not saying it isn't Pence, to hopefully give us the first scoop. But we did tell you a few weeks ago that he had been the front runner, but that Senator Sessions has tried to bow out himself. Trump may crazily still try to pick him. That was the way it was told to me by another insider. But they're really going to dig up the Alabama stuff. And did he ever go to some meeting, you know, where there's 200 people and there's Klan guys there, and boom, they'll just go to town with that. Hillary Clinton, her mentor can be a grand dragon. That's okay. But regardless, the word is, this is up on drudgereport.com, from Roll Call, you're hired. Trump picks Pence. Trump to pick Mike Pence, says source. And I do not think that is one of the best choices. It's a lot better than Newt Gingrich. Because let me tell you, as much as I dislike Hillary and everything, if he would have picked Gingrich, or if he does pick Gingrich, and Gingrich, by the way, is attacking Trump today, which as soon as I saw that this morning, it's like, hallelujah. Because he just can't help but backbite. That's just how he is. And if he puts Gingrich too close to him, he's crazy. I mean, it's one strategy to keep your enemies closer. I get that. I'm going to give Trump the benefit of the doubt till I see what he starts delivering on. Like getting our jobs back, like defending our sovereignty. So there's different strategies out there. It's just that time will have to tell. Donald Trump is planning to announce that Indiana Governor Mike Pence is his choice for his vice presidential running mate. And of course, he had a meeting in private with 4 of the guys yesterday there in Indiana, according to a Republican with direct knowledge of the decision. As Trump narrowed in on his choice of Pence, the two men spent time at both Trump's golf resort in New Jersey in early July and at the Indiana governor's mansion this week. That's right. In addition to testing the men's chemistry, Trump also reportedly impressed with Pence's calm demeanor, his experience on Capitol Hill as a governor, and Pence's potential to assist Trump in governing should the ticket win in November. The announcement will be made publicly at an event at Trump Tower at 11 a.m. Friday morning. In addition to Pence, Trump has considered former Speaker of the House Newt Gingrich, New Jersey Governor Chris Christie, Army General Michael Flynn, the number 2 spots on his ticket. Some contenders include Senator Bob Corker. Yeah, that was never the case. Corker went to him, of Tennessee, and it goes on from there. So we'll see. We will see. All I know is Hillary Clinton is 7 points behind in a new scientific Rasmussen poll and a whole other index of polls that are up on Infowars.com showing that he's pulled ahead 3 to 4 points in almost every poll except for the polls being put out by Democratic Party pollsters or affiliated media groups. And you can write a poll and ask the questions however you want. You can use the demographics, who you called. I already talked about that, but I tell you, you can really see how the establishment's going to strike back. And I'm going to tie all this together when we come back from break here in a few minutes to the original Rand Corporation / U.S. government Carnegie Endowment for Peace program. You want to know where the UN comes from? Want to understand why all this is happening? Want to understand Obama's youth brigades and what Black Lives Matter is? This is a shaping of things to come and where this country is going to go. And so I'm going to break it down as calmly as I can without getting upset why it's such a travesty and a tragedy what's happening. But you want to see the political takeover of America? This is what it is by the offshore conglomerates. Now, before I go any further, because I want to plunge right into this when we come back from break, we are ending the special today, and it will end. We already extended it, expanded it, and then contracted it to just storable food that's excellent, high quality, best price out there, and to the nutraceuticals, but upwards of 40, up to 40% off. It's not like a few of the things are 40% off. A lot of the food's 40% off. 20 to 40% off, bare minimum 20%, 10% off all the nutraceuticals, 25% off DNA Force, our flagship product. We only do that every once in a while, and it sells out quickly. That's going to end today. The DNA Force is going to extend out. That's our new sale. But the other sale ends today on the storable food and the 10% off across the board on nutraceuticals. You get an additional 10% off on anything you sign up for auto ship on, and free shipping on orders of $50 or more at InfoWarsStore.com. I want to thank you all for your support, but you really are getting high-quality items here, whether it's books, videos, T-shirts, whether it's shortwave radios or non-GMO seeds. We try to find the very best stuff out there at the lowest price. InfoWarsStore.com, InfoWarsLife.com. Stay with us. All right, I want to just succinctly give you the facts. Not rhetoric, not hype, but reality. For so long, the Liberty Movement has warned about a world government UN takeover that even though it's now here and now happening, I'll have somebody on like Dr. Paul Craig Roberts, former head of the Treasury Department, father of Reaganomics, and I'll say, you know, this is 6 months ago, hey, did you see the Associated Press and Breitbart and everybody? The Attorney General just met and says, the new Attorney General at the time, Loretta Lynch, she just met with government leaders from around the country, and they're going to set up UN offices to oversee human rights in every U.S. city with federal funding. And he goes, oh, Alex, the UN doesn't run anything. Let's get back to the war with China or whatever he was talking about. And see, I respect him. I'm not arguing or debating. It's all perspective. He's absolutely right that it's Washington and the European globalist and the UK globalists that run the Anglo-American establishment, and they're the big families and the power brokers. And the UN is a U.S. puppet, and it gets 50% of its funding from the U.S., and the Rockefeller and Rothschild families gave basically 100% of the money to found it. I've had the experts on. I've read the congressional reports that Anthony Sutton put together. The Carnegie Endowment for Peace runs the whole show. But you have to understand, when the rubber meets the road, it is a UN takeover. The globalists need to create a new government that they can transfer our powers to, away from the people, away from the states, and then have it come back in with the stirred up, angry populations mad at what the globalists are doing here. And then here comes the good cop, the UN to save everyone, the IMF, the World Bank. That's what this is. Just like the TPP. 10 years being secretly prepared, Congress not allowed to see it, lawsuits get filed, so for a few months you can go into a room with tens of thousands of pages and different drafts and look at one page at a time and no notes. How did Congress get in the position where they're told by some shadowy group, we don't even know who, that, okay, you can look at it one piece of paper at a time? That isn't just world government. It's totally draconian, secretive, and over the top. Will you guys cue up Obama talking about a domestic security force just as big, just as strong? It's 23 seconds. So many times I sit here jumping to pieces of evidence trying to prove it to you, and I'm still going to do that neurotically, but at a certain point, I've done a lot of videos, I notice, and reports that are really popular, where I just show one article with some links and then just tell you what's going on instead of like, and look at this, and look at that, and read this quote. See, they really are doing it. Look, you know they're really doing it, okay? They really did Obamacare. The White House sent Obama to Dallas 2 days ago. And he actually got up there for like 15 minutes and said, "Oh, we're really sorry. You know, it's never okay to kill cops. But I tell you, we're really a racist, horrible country, and we got to reform the police, and it's blah, 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 blah." Just adding support to this whole movement, and every corporate media outlet pushing it, and every globalist computer outfit pushing it, and foreign governments pushing it, and the UN coming and having meetings and advising and filing lawsuits and running the refugee program. It's happening. And I've got stacks of news every day now where the UN is running all of this. It's the consortium that sets the curricula for the public schools and the colleges. UNESCO, it sets the global standards for light bulbs, toilets, and then we just adopt it. How cold your thermostat can go, how hot your hot tub can get. I mean, we haven't implemented all this yet. Some countries have. Germany has banned the new construction of single-family dwellings, saying we don't want families to be alone. That's a cult. We want you in a big building. I first saw that in German newspapers like 6, 7 years ago. People didn't believe it. It's now in place. And now it's coming here. I remember 10 years ago when they were banning space heaters and outdoor heaters in fireplaces all over Europe. People laughed. It's now happening in the United States. I'd tell you 5 years ago about coffin apartments that are going to be 225 square feet, but you pay more for them. Less for more money. People didn't believe it. Now, many of the new buildings being built in Austin are 200, 300 square foot. Folks, they mean business, okay? Business. We're following a global, I'm getting chills right now, a total global government program meant to shut resources off incrementally till you're totally dependent, and then they're going to start killing everybody with bioweapons. But they're just getting us sick right now and getting us ready for it. And that's why people want me to at least pay lip service. Like, I've been told privately, you ought to be nicer to Black Lives Matter and, say some nice things like you care and all this. I'm not. Of course I care. I'm not going to sit here and play lip service. You understand? You need to slap up beside your freaking head. I don't care if you're white, whatever damn color you are. Excuse me. Said I'm not going to get mad. I am so angry lately. We are under scientific attack. We're under medical attack. They're geoengineering, spending tens of billions a year. The plants are dying all over the northern hemisphere. Aluminum levels in some cases are 50 times what they were 20 years ago. The globalist scientists won a Nobel Prize in 1992 for the plan they implemented in 1996. It's not funny. Either social justice warriors either laugh at these warnings, or they just ignore it and move on to, did you hear 2 more black guys got shot last week? Yeah, did you hear 50,000 black babies got killed? I mean, do you understand what a joke that is? You got a mosquito biting you. Meanwhile, they got your head in a guillotine, and you're bitching about the mosquito. It's a total diversion. And I sit here watching it done scientifically, having all the proof, all the documents, their whole plan, telling people what to go read, what to go look at for yourself. The U.S. law, U.S. Code, Title 50, Chapter 32, subsection 1520A, paragraph B. And then people go read it and don't even know what they're saying. They go, Alex, this says they can't do secret testing on us unless it's for law enforcement or research purposes, including lethal. It's on the books. They can kill us. You're like, well, wait a minute. You said the cops are our friends, but they're allowed to kill us. It's for at the top law enforcement purposes. Your enemy is not the average cop down the street that's just as compartmentalized as you are. Yeah, I said I was going to walk through this, and I was going to take your calls. Excuse me. See, I try to not think about this stuff all the time. It's one just the ignorance, the mind control, the enemy winning makes me sick to my stomach. And to know where all this is going, and to know the institutional division it's creating, and then they'll have this whole politically correct system to fix it, which is a cult attacking words and language. Can